SnortBucks Kaffeebier heißt Sie willkommen zum Snortfest. Beginnend bei das salzige Schwein, Schweinebraterei. Und breitete sich auf Dutzende von SnortBucks Salzbierzelten aus. Snortfest sind 3 Wochen Trinken, Essen und gute altmodische Ausschweifungen. Machen Sie mit. SnortBucks. Willkommen bei Salt.
HipHopGame.com, the number one hip-hop website. NYC at its finest. Skyzoo, Torae, Primo on the boards. It's custom made. Coalescence. They ain't see this one coming. Yes, y'all. The dude with the fitted to the left is right back at it. I ain't lost a step. Respect through the ceiling. I ain't lost a rep. Ran 100 laps and I ain't lost a breath. So fuck whoever's next. Young and I'm the moment at hand. May God help you, but you gon' get to know that man. Son, I'm past what your aim is. Fuck around and try to get famous, and you'll be slapboxing the stainless. Nah, it ain't tough talk. Dude, it's live. I'm from the block where the king was moving super fast. So the legacy of B.I.G. I'm on my B.I.G.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the situation at hand. For whatever that may be. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the newsroom. It's kind of under construction. You know, that's a thing. Let's see here. So, what are we doing? Because I'm kind of all over the place with this one. This is... I don't even know if I could even really say this was unexpected, to be honest. It really isn't. Actually, now I think about it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with this was in a in-house cut, so big ups to Diggs, but this is actually from the raw DSP stream from January 26th of 2023. DSP breaks TOS, which I swear to God, he's always breaking TOS, to be honest with you. But in this particular case, he decided, I would assume, he went into the YouTube editor and edited that part out and then re-uploaded the rest. Now, granted, because of all these other resources out there, people were able to clip it, what really happened. But yeah, like, it seems like such a weird-ass thing for him to do. It's not the first time he's done this, clearly, but it's weird that he would even go through the trouble. Here's the thing. Going back a little bit, 2018, I think. If you guys remember, this is when, you know, at the height of when Tevin was really doing a lot of his restreams, when DSP was on Twitch. Tevin used to not always catch all of his streams live. So what Tevin would do is he would actually just play the Twitch archive of DSP stream and just go off that. And he found an interesting little, I wouldn't call it an exploit, but like, I guess like a glitch or whatever the case may be, or it may be just something that's linked to how Twitch does their archives. Anyway, Tevin found out that if he opened up the stream while it was opened up DSP stream on Twitch while he was live, that Tevin, as long as Tevin kept that tab open, he could come back to it later. And I'm not sure if he could fast forward. I know he could rewind it and start from the beginning. So he used to do that for the longest time. But then, for when DSP started, when people started hitting DSP with all these things, with all these different things about, hey, I think that right there might be breaking TOS on Twitch, or hey, I don't know if you can actually say that or do that or whatever. There would be times where DSP would just delete his stream from Twitch altogether after he's obviously moved it over to YouTube and cut it all up and everything. So this isn't necessarily a new thing as it pertains to him trying to remove evidence for whatever reason. But we're not actually accusing him of that. Well, we are, but we're accusing him of editing, actually doing an edit for some strange reason. Like, and he didn't even cut it right. He didn't even cut it where he should have. He should have let it play a little bit longer and then he could have removed the rest. The point being is, why the fuck is he editing anything? I understand why, because, you know, his chat called him out on the TOS and everything. But the fact that he went ahead and got rid of that evidence only makes it look worse. You know what I'm saying? Or at least he removed it for the YouTube video. I don't know. It's kind of silly. So, like I said, this is an in-house cut. I don't know where Diggs actually starts this or even where it ends. So we'll just go in and see what's up with that. Big ups to Diggs, big ups to Raw DSP. And like I said, we'll just see where it is and what it is and, you know, whatever the case may be. It has to do with the bounties that he's been doing for Modern Warfare 2.0, which, you know, I think, like I said, people have been talking about that for a little while now, at least the last couple of weeks, if not since him starting doing this nonsense for Call of Duty. So it is what it is. I want to tell you too, by the way, don't hold me to this, that back in Black Ops 3 in Blackout, he may have attempted to try to do something like this too. I don't know how far he went with it, but I wouldn't have been surprised. I'm trying to think who was restreaming him back at that time. I want to tell you LSB was, Tevin occasionally, and then obviously Dark Dave Mirrors and Raw DSP, I think, was a thing, or at least Dark Dave Mirrors was a thing around that time. I have to go back and look now, but I'm sure there's examples of him skirting shit, you know what I'm saying, wanting a reward because he did well, or whatever the case may be. So I wouldn't be surprised by any of that. Like I said, we'll check this out, we'll see what's what. I will say this though, before we jump in. Instead of people rewarding DSP because of his survivability, why don't someone put an actual, even if it's a fake bounty, I don't give a fuck if you're gonna fake donate to him to fucking make him motivated to play. It's kind of pathetic on his part, but you know, however you get your kicks. Why doesn't anybody actually put a bounty on him saying that, hey, you need, you know, I'll donate $50 or $100 or whatever if you can get at least 10 kills, no gulag bullshit. Like 10 kills or whatever the case may be. I think people already do that, but I think that should be a condition. And on top of him catching the win, and on top of him getting the W, I think that should be one of the things that they should really push him towards. Because if it's really just about him surviving till the end, he's just going to hide in bathrooms all day, to be honest with you. And that's going to start getting lame anyway. You know what I mean? If it's not lame now. Him getting killed, though, is always hilarious. As I've said, I think, in a previous video, just shoot the... If you think DSP is in a bathroom or anybody else, just light that door up. You know what I'm saying? Wall bang the shit out of that shit, and you'll get him. Because it's not like DSP is necessarily in a corner. He's usually just directly behind the door. Just light that shit the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking Call of Duty 101. Anywho, let's go ahead and get into this. Should be fun. And, you know, this is the Snort Report. This is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Yeah. Unreliable sources that you can't count on. A GTG Network and Productions. Brought to you by SnortBucks Coffee Company, the best beverage company, and Hard Snorts Gin and Tonic. For that toxic flavor that never waver. Especially if you have a begging addiction. So, that's a thing. We'll see you guys in just a second.
Dang, see this one coming. Dude with the fitted to the left is right back at it. I ain't lost a step. Respect through the ceiling. I ain't lost a rep. Ran 100 laps. I ain't lost a breath. So fuck whoever's next. Young and I'm the moment at hand. May God help you, but you gon' get to know that man. Son, I'm past what your aim is. Fuck around and try to get famous, and you'll be slapboxing the stainless. Nah, it ain't tough talk. Dude, it's live. I'm from the block where the king was moving 2 for 5s. So on the legacy of B.I.G., I'm on my B.I. lean. I treat beats like PYTs. I slut them. SK, the bottom of the ninth is mine in blue and white.
10 remaining. Keep it up.
Top 10 again, 3 times in one night, baby.
Literally rewarding him for the bare fucking minimum. I'm sorry, but it just seems like the bare fucking minimum. Holy shit. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this right here is from... this is a Diggs supercut. It's brought to us by Raw DSP. Big ups to both of them. Let's see here. DSP hides proof of TOS violation from Warzone2 stream. it's a thing. We'll have a link to Dark Dave Mirrors, sorry, Raw DSP. Big ups to Dark Dave Mirrors. I know Dark Dave Mirrors and Raw DSP are the same person. I know this. But still, it's two different channels. I will have the link to this video down in the description, or I'll at least ask someone to do it. Because that's a thing. Here we go.
Gas is moving.
1-1 requesting recon at this time.
Copy that. UAV online and orbiting the AO. Your squad is in the top 5. Let's get it done.
Now, I know you guys can't see it very well, or you might not be able to, but on his mini-map, which I hate the design of this mini-map, by the way, but at least as it pertains to his UAV, he knows there's someone down in that, I guess there's a building here. He knows there's someone in there. He clearly knows that. I just want to throw that out there before he bitch and complain about some stupid shit.
UAV is bingo fuel. RTB at this time.
So he got shot. For whatever reason, didn't know or didn't understand where he was getting shot from, and instead of bailing off the roof right away, he played coy like he was down to try to lure the person out. I might be giving him way too much credit on that now I think about it.
UAV is bingo fuel. RTB at this time.
How? Bullshit, dude, that is such nonsense. He wasn't even looking at me. I made top 5, thank God. He wasn't even looking
Okay,
at
we gotta play this back. I know I'm pretty confident of what I saw. Like I said, how he handled that first opponent that was shooting at him is something all in itself. But you decided to eventually bail off the roof. You breached the door. The dude wasn't looking at you. You tried to shoot down on him. Your aim is shit. You missed the first couple shots, and dude lit you up. I don't understand what is so hard to figure out.
How? Bullshit, dude, that is such nonsense. He wasn't even looking at me. I made top 5, thank God. He wasn't even looking at me. He was looking the other way, and I opened fire.
There's a decent drop shot on that guy's part, too. But, yeah, I don't understand what he couldn't figure out. I don't understand what he couldn't figure out. And, hey, he got 4th place. There you go. Participation trophies all around, I'm sure.
Even looking at me. He was looking the other way, and I opened fire on him, and all of a sudden his body goes zoop and is hitting me. I hate the connections in this game. That made no sense. He was not looking at me, and I opened fire first.
And what does that mean? First off, your aim is... First off, was the guy not looking at him? Clearly the guy wasn't looking at him. But DSP already knew the guy was in there, so he should have been better prepared anyway. He wasn't, because he was scared of the other guy shooting him while he was on that rooftop. Secondly, you breached the door. Did you think that guy was a drone? I mean, you thought he was a bot? Just sitting there? Nah, he heard you breach the door. He turned around. You shot first. And, as usual, you missed. And then he lit your ass up. You shooting first means not a goddamn thing, to be honest. Especially if you don't have any fucking accuracy at all. Which you don't. So, that means nothing. And then when his reflexes are so slow that when the guy dropped and whatnot, DSP didn't register it anyway. I mean, no, I'm not going to sit here and go with his usual coping on why he got lit up. He got lit up because he's a fucking... He got lit up because he's a fugly idiot and he can't compete. Even though you knew that person was in there. The guy was on his UAV. So no. You walked into a situation that you were ill-prepared for whatever reason, at least from a gun skill point of view, and you got cleaned up. And you got cleaned up.
It insta-kills me. Like, what the hell, dude? Well, at least I got 4. So, wow. 7th, 8th, 4th tonight. Pretty damn good placements. Even I got top 5 as well, right? So, who do we have? Let's take a look, because now we can actually call it out now. We had Easy Money, who said top 10, no, $10 top 10, $20 top 5. So for Easy Money, you owe me 10, 20, $40 Easy Money, and if you don't pay up, you're going to be easily banned, because I have your super chat right here. All right?
Why
That's
would this
40
tard say that? First off, to say they owe you anything, for all you know, Easy Money has already left the stream, and maybe he pays up tomorrow, maybe you don't. But, like, why say that? And then you're going to ban him because he don't throw bread up? You're going to ban him. What about all those broken promises and shit that you ain't made to your... I don't even know if you call that a promise, but whatever. It's the internet. It's not like most people don't keep their word anyway. But how are you going to sit there and ban this dude, or whoever, over $40? And isn't Easy Money like someone who's been around for a little while? I'm not saying he's a long-term pay pig, but he's someone who's been around for a bit, right? So why hit him for that? Especially if you don't even know if he's still watching the stream or not, or if they're whatever. You know what I mean? You don't know if they're even there yet or still there. Yeah, he deserves to get slapped for this. I mean, nothing will probably happen from it, but he deserves to get slapped for this. That's that's really, I mean, I don't know, it's par for the course if you ask me. Let's hear this back.
Who do we have? Let's take a look, because now we can actually call it out now. We had Easy Money, who said top 10, no, $10 top 10, $20 top 5. So for Easy Money, you owe me 10, 20, $40 Easy Money, and if you don't pay up, you're going to be easily banned, because I have your super chat right here. All right? That's $40. Now, in addition to that, there was at least 2 to 3 other people who said they were going to reward top 5 as well. I did receive a $30 tip from Nasty Mandy, who says, as promised, thank you to Nasty Mandy for the $30 tip. I really appreciate that. I'm glad I stuck around for the final match, which was my best of the night.
Okay, here's my next question. Why aren't those few other people, why aren't they being threatened with a ban? Okay, one pay pig coughed up his 30. What about these other few people, phantoms, I'm sure, who are out there who supposedly owe money? Why aren't they being banned? Or being threatened with a ban, I should say.
Okay. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to give it a minute. And if it doesn't come in, guess who's not coming back? Right? Alright. Anyway, good night. Wow. I feel redeemed. I really feel redeemed, right? Because we literally went from that stream last time where I got nothing done, and I got 3 top 10 placings, and I should have done better there. That guy, he should have been dead. Absolutely. I had the drop on him. I should have been able to murder him, get behind cover, and as everyone else was rushing to me with no health because they were all shooting each other and we're in the gas, I should have won.
What sense does that make? First off, you don't know if those people have stems. You don't know if those people have shields. How you making assumptions like that is going to easily get you killed. Easily. Because you should never make assumptions like that, especially in Final Circle. You don't know what people have and what don't. Assume that they have everything they need as it pertains to ammunition to light your ass up. And more importantly, they have all the healing that they need to keep them alive for whatever their final gunfight's going to be. You have to assume that. Like, in his head, according to this, he automatically assumed that he already had all the advantages. He don't know, and you shouldn't assume like that. That's like cops thinking that that's like police officers, for example, when they're thinking about, when they're running down on an opponent or whatever, or they don't call him opponent, sorry, a suspect, or whatever the case may be. Do you think they automatically assume that suspect don't have a gun or a knife or is not wearing a vest or whatever? Any veteran officer would never make that type of assumption. Now, granted, I'm reaching here with all this, but you get my drift. You're in a Twitch shooter, dude. You're in an arcade Twitch shooter, which allows you to stack up on shit. you got to think the people who have survived this long have at least, well, you should assume that they have at least some type of contingency. They're holding on to something, you know what I'm saying, before they go into a final circle. And they have to assume everybody else does too. You would think after years of playing Call of Duty, he should know that. You should have a general understanding of that. And that understanding should evolve as games keep coming out and they add more and more to aid your survivability. But this idiot don't. This is the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, that they need to go back to well, actually, they do kind of have self-regeneration, but you know what I mean. That's dumb. God damn, that's stupid. He literally has no. He literally just. It's true. He's literally a bot. He's a fucking drone. He just plays everything the same, and that's it. If that's really what he was thinking going into that gunfight, he deserved to die. In Call of Duty, of course, he deserved that. And he deserved every bit of it. That's just pure ignorance. Oh, all right, let's continue.
Match, but if anything, you see at the very end there, the bullshit of Warzone connections. He's not looking at me. And I'm shooting him as he's not looking at me. And somehow he goes, zoop, which isn't even available. He goes, zoop, turns like this. Not even a natural movement. Then he's on the ground shooting me. It's like, you're out of your mind. The connection fucking sucks. You're so full of shit.
It wasn't a natural movement to turn to his side and then drop shot you? But didn't DSP get shot from one of his flanks and then, for whatever reason, turn directly to that flank and then drop down and then healed himself up? Just didn't do it as quickly as the other guy. So because that guy is a bit more in tuned, if you will, with the game itself, i.e. he has an advantage that I don't, Snort, so it's cheating. That's where we get to this conclusion? Holy shit. Oh, the cope is amazing. The cope is amazing.
But, thank God, I redeemed myself, because last time I really got real upset that I didn't do very well.
Now, and I want you to take this bitch made shit in too. This just goes to show, and I've said this before, how much he has weighing in as it pertains to his ego onto these games, onto competitive games in general. Most people can just take a loss, be mad for a minute, and then you move the fuck on. He sits here and laments about that shit. So, with that being said, this is what affects his behavior. So, think about every time he got beat up by Evil AJ. Think about every time he got beat up by Goji Tanks. Think about that Chris G shit. All that shit stays up in his head. But yet he can't improve. He can't use that and focus it into trying to improve. Instead, he just uses it as another excuse to why everybody else has an advantage. He don't. The game and the game publisher and the game developers are out to get him. All the other players are cheating. They got modified controllers and whatever, and he could never overcome it. He's the only honest gamer. Oh, Jesus Christ, it disgusts me to say that. He's the only honest gamer out here trying to play everything legit. Everybody else is a phony, everybody else is a fake, and everybody else is a cheat. But his detractors, trolls, haters, and critics are the mentally ill ones, though. Think about that.
But, thank God, I redeemed myself, because last time I really got real upset that I didn't do very well. It was a real shit night. By the way, Purple Pickle did a super chat. He says, pay up easy money. Show us how easy that money really is, boy. Yeah, easy money comes here every stream, and it just was always luck. What? Top 10 tip TOS? What does that even mean? Well, I guess you're easily banned. There you go. I don't know. I don't even know what he meant, right? He's banned now. I don't know what the fuck that
So wait a
means.
second. So we just ban people because we don't understand what they're saying? He saw TOS, he got scared, and bans this dude, and then goes back and then fucking edits the stream? Or edits his clip so that part's not there? If you weren't doing anything wrong, why would you even bother with this?
Amazing. So he's a moron. What's funny is he came here multiple nights, constantly super chatting. Anyway. Of course, bounties are for fun, little crow. Again, I can't.
Bounties are for fun, but yet I can ban, by his logic, I can ban you on site if you don't pay up. But I thought it was supposed to be for fun, though. But I can ban you on site.
Anyway. Of course, bounties are for fun, little crow. Again, I can't make anyone do anything. This is not a commitment. There's no legal contract. These are people saying they're going to do something nice, right? So if you say you're going to do something nice, then do it. And if you don't, you're banned. I'm not going to have dishonest people on my stream.
What sense does this mean? I'm sorry. What sense does this make? Like, how is that even a thing? If you go off of that logic, right, that you make promises that you can't keep, right, to your audience, for example, let's go ahead and reverse this. Then he deserved to get fucking kicked out of the monetization program on Twitch. Because how many times did he make promises to those people, or commitments, or whatever you want to call it, and broke it? How many times did he beg for games, got the money for them, and then turned around and said, "Oh, well, I'm going to use this for something else. Oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't enough, or something came up, and I had to spend this money somewhere else." How many times did he pull that? You better fuck all with all this shit. How do you hold people to a standard that you yourself are not capable of doing? And sadly, nothing may ever come out of this, or if it does, it won't come out of it right away. But he kind of deserves a suspension on that nonsense, just off, not a moral fagging or anything, but just off of morals. He probably deserves to fucking at least eat a couple of day ban for this. Certainly. But then it doesn't really matter. Let me say that part. If something actually happens, then I'll talk about what he could do.
I'm not going to have dishonest people talking out of their asses, you know? Idiot. Anyway, good stuff. Much better, right? Thank you all for supporting tonight. I really appreciate it.
And yet again, if it's supposed to be for fun, why would you even throw dishonesty into it? What if yet again, easy money is already left for the night, for whatever reason? And what if someone else comes in and says, "Oh, well, hey man, you did well, so I'll throw $40 at you." Or whatever the case may be. Or what if easy money was using troll cheering, but you know what I mean? What if they were trolling him and someone else actually came in and threw the money up on their behalf, or just to say, "Hey, congratulations for doing this, that, and the third." You saying that, hey, if you don't pay this money up, you're going to catch a ban. Why would anybody want to do a bounty for anything? I wouldn't give him shit anyway, but I wouldn't give him a red cent after seeing this. No fucking way. To a bunch of faceless people online? You took it that seriously? And then they're just going to come back with a fucking... They're going to come back on some troll account anyway. Like, you're not enforcing anything, right? All you're doing is discouraging people from doing that. From not committing, but from committing, but for contributing to you. And matter of fact, this goes back to more of this dumb shit. If someone new comes in and say, "Oh, well, let me watch one of his Call of Duty streams and see if that's worthwhile," and then they come across this, what the hell do you think that new person's going to think? They're not going to want to hear your dumbass excuse about how, "Oh, if you say something, you should do it." No one's going to want to hear that. Especially when you contradict yourself and say, "Oh, it's only supposed to be for fun." It's not a contract. It's not a legal commitment. But you're going to ban them if they don't come through? Do we not understand what commitment means? And the consequences, quote unquote, I guess, if you don't come up to it? Well, that changes the aspect of it being for fun, right?
Thank you all for chilling. Thank you for your... Oh, excuse me. Thank you very much for your engagement. You know, a lot of likes on the stream, a lot of views tonight too. I really appreciate that. The Warzone streams remain pretty much consistently my highest attended and viewed streams, which is very nice. Okay, so a couple tips just came in. I got a $1 tip from a troll who I will ignore, a fucking idiot, and then we got a $10 tip from Bosco V. Says, I missed your stream, but hello from Panama. Well, thank you, Bosco. I appreciate that. With that, we actually did hit the $100 tips goal, although a little late to really do much with that. I guess I'll just grab a hat quickly because I'm just going to say goodnight to you guys. Okay. There we go. Very good. All right, everyone. So thank you very much. And I hope that you enjoyed tonight's stream. It was a great one, right? It was fun. And I redeemed myself. Thank goodness. I'm happy that I redeemed myself. All right? Thank you all. Next Warzone stream will be Sunday night. Yep, Sunday night. All right, guys. Thank you so very much. Until next time. Okay, buddy. Are you excited for that? I am. I'm excited for Dead Space all day tomorrow. I hope it's good. You know, it seems that the consensus on the internet seems to be that it is pretty good.
Wait, real quick. Like I said, we'll see where this goes, but as it pertains to Dead Space, what was it? Calypso Protocol was the one that he was trying to defend, despite the fact that the game has a shitload of problems and whatnot, but he's trying to defend it, thinking that that's going to somehow get him clout, and it's not. Even the people who like the game say it has problems, because it has fucking problems. The damn thing was rushed out too quickly. Anyway, isn't this the same idiot who runs around here and says, don't wait on other people's opinions, form your own? And this is one of the reasons why advanced copies, or influencer copies, or early copies need to be abolished? Because if everybody can play the game on the same day and form their own opinions, the game might actually do better or sell better or be perceived to be better. But then he's going around saying this dumb shit? So, yet again, it's okay for Ree, but not for thee, apparently. And does he not realize how stupid he sounds, being that he literally based what games that he plays off of what people say on Twitter? What is the majority, I should say, the majority opinion? What the mob believes is good and what isn't. So it's easy to bash that shit, right? When you're doing a playthrough of it that no one's really going to give a fuck about, whether, despite the game. But if a game that's getting, as he likes to say, overhyped, is about to come up, oh, I hope it's good, and people are saying it's good, people think it's going to be good, but that's it. Well, if that's the case, why the fuck isn't he playing GoldenEye 64? Game looks great. I mean, it is what it is, but the game looks great. I mean, it sucks that there's no multiplayer, but it is what it is. And more importantly, it still gives you that old school GoldenEye feel. That's why everybody loves that goddamn game so much. I mean, granted, it would explode if they had multiplayer, but you know, it is what it is. But GoldenEye 64 is a fucking classic. It's like I don't know if it's in like the top like 50 games of all time. I can't remember now, but I know it's definitely up there. You know what I'm saying? It's in most people's personal list. It's at least in their like top 20 greatest games that most people have ever played. But he won't play that. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to deal with that. But he's okay with fucking basically simping up to what the masses, the popular people on social media think as it relates to Dead Space? And this is why no one will ever take him seriously. This is why there is no redemption for people like DSP. There's nothing he'll ever be able to do. There's nothing he'll ever be able to say that will ever change people's opinion of him. It just doesn't work. And even the people who try to, I guess you could say moral fag, to try to stand up for him and shit, more often than not, it's not even really worth doing. Like, there are people who will say, hey, he has a point here, or whatever the case may be. But when's the last time you saw someone actually campaign to be like, hey, DSP doesn't deserve all of this hate, and these are the reasons why? How many people have you actually seen do that? Not many, because there's so much shit out there on him. Even amongst detractors, trolls, haters, and critics who do it, you can't do it all the time. You can't even do it most of the time. Yes, a clock is right twice a day. But Jesus Christ, only once a day will possibly someone try to defend him on anything. Other than that, it's easier just to let him drown. He's doing such a good job of it anyway. He puts himself into that situation. Why help him? Why? Especially when he don't appreciate it, and he's more than likely gonna fuck you over on the back end later on anyway. I don't know.
So I hope that it's not baloney and people aren't overhyping something that's not good, because, you know, if it's literally just Dead Space 1, it's okay then, but I've played Dead Space 1 a ton of times, you know. So I'm not going to be totally blown away if it literally is just Dead Space 1. If there's improvements to it that make it dramatically different and feel like a new game, then that's cool. You know, I guess we'll find out you know, what happens tomorrow. I know you guys are excited.
If that's if that's the case, then why the fuck does he need to play it day one? Why don't he wait a couple of days then? Why don't he give it a week? He's quick to tell his audience that, hey, if you're not sure about a game, don't buy it day one. Let other people go ahead and buy it, see what they think and whatnot, and give their content a chance. And then if you like it, you can purchase it yourself. Well, why won't he do that? I don't give a fuck about his business. His business ain't shit anyway. The only gimmick that he kind of had is that he was one of the first people who could play games, slush through it, and jump on to the next new release. He's too lazy and too stupid to do that now. So what's his excuse? He isn't chasing views. He don't get them. This idiot can't even break 10,000 on a new release anymore. So that's not an excuse.
Really the first real major release of the year. So I know people are going to tune in. They're going to want to see it. And I'm playing it all day. I'm playing it both on the first and second stream tomorrow. All right, guys? So I hope that you guys will join me tomorrow for Dead Space.
And wait a second, hasn't he accused other streamers of playing overhyped games all day when they could be playing something else, but they clear their entire schedules out just to play the overhyped, over-publicized game? Isn't that the same thing he's doing here? I thought it was all about variety. So why is he trying to jam this down their throat? We already saw what happened when he tried to do that with God of War. Variety is the spice of life, right? He likes the fact that he's not boxed in, and he doesn't have to, and he has more than one type of audience to cater to. So whoever was supposed to come in for the night stream expecting whatever is usually fucking played that night or peddled, now they're kind of screwed. What if they don't like Dead Space right now? Or what if they're not interested in seeing it? That's why they avoided the first stream. Now they come to the second and they're stuck. I'm just trying to use his logic as it pertains to this. Just saying. Just repeating dumb shit that he said himself.
Long. All right. 1 minute Sam. All right, you know what? What are you talking about? You're wrong. Absolutely wrong. That's not what happened. And you know what? 1 minute Sam, you were really starting to test my patience, because tonight you were very demanding on something. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. I've already told you I don't want to do it. And then you were the pushy person. And I literally told you, no, stop. And now you're going to say shit like that. I think you need to start watching your words, because you're starting to be really negative on the stream. Okay? You don't know what you're talking about.
So 1 minute Sam calls him out on the TOS thing, saying that, hey, if you don't pay me, if you don't pay what you owe, essentially I'm going to ban you. You say that didn't happen, though clearly everybody saw that it happened, especially if they were on stream, right? And then goes ahead and tries to push the goalpost in another direction, saying, oh, well, you were asking me or you were demanding me to do stuff that I didn't want to do all night. This same blatant lying, though, it reminds me of a bunch of different situations, but the main one it really brings me back to, and he did it 3 times. He did it back to back to back, which is why it really stands out to me, is the War Dog leader situation some years back, when he accused him of saying all of this shit in his chat, and that War Dog didn't say. And then he said that, oh, my chat said all this stuff to him about how take your problem somewhere else, no one wants to hear it, yada, yada, yada. Knowing damn well that there were chat logs out there that prove otherwise, and yet he still ran with that lie until he had to double down the second time, or then he had to double down, and then got called out on all those lies. Then he doubled down again and got called out on that bullshit too. Did it 3 blatant times just to try to keep his own fragile little fucking ego up, despite the fact he was dead to rights. You sounded like a bitch. You looked like a bitch. and someone called you out on it. Then he sat there and tried to weaponize his audience to, I guess, to the larger masses and make it sound like, no, he came over here and just started spouting shit off, and this isn't the place to do it. People only want to hear me bitch. No one wants to hear, anything from him. That shit's crazy. That shit's crazy. And yet it should be expected. And yet again, how do you support someone who does this? More importantly than that, why would any other content creator or streamer want to touch this with a 10-foot pole, knowing damn well that you're going to have channels out there who are going to go ahead and post this shit, and whether in full context or whether in the situation itself or whatever it may be, and either way it makes you look bad, and you can't explain it away. These are your words. No one manipulated you into saying this dumb shit. You just said it. And more importantly than that, you acted upon it. But yet, how is he the victim? This goes back to the whole, what was that? Oh, that goes back to the whole Pokemon Sun and Moon bullshit. Oh, it's not because I said this dumb thing. It's because some piece of shit clipped it and put it on the internet, and that's all people see. Remember that? Does anybody remember that? Yikes.
You're being very negative. You're starting to piss me off. Okay, now, tomorrow, Dead Space all day. Saturday, One Piece, and, what's the other thing? One Piece and, Oblivion. How am I having a brain fart and forgetting Oblivion? Oblivion's one of my favorite streams right now. Okay? So Oblivion.
Alright, let's cut the shit on that. Holy shit, dude. That shit's amazing. Oh, that's ugly. Anyhow, there you go. Like I said, as it pertains to the breaking of TOS, clearly, will anything come out of it? No. Even if it did, he would just run back to Twitch. Now, does he qualify for affiliate or partnership? I would say he qualifies that he can reapply for it, but that's really just what it is. He's just applying for a job that he may not even get. He might get affiliate back, to be honest. I don't think he'll ever get partnership, though. I don't think he'll get partnership. Because if he thought he could, if he hasn't already applied for partnership, he'd already done it by now. I think he can get affiliate. I just think he can't get his partnership back. And I think that's one of the reasons why he don't want to go back over there. Because now he has to accept something less, and everybody gets to laugh at his ass for accepting something less, and he has no choice. But if he was to take a hit on YouTube, he would just run back to Twitch. And even if he couldn't monetize, he would just collect tips. He would just collect tips until he could get back on YouTube. Unless they hit him for a violation and they demonetize him, I should say, on YouTube. Unless he gets demonetized. I guess it depends on how long. But he'll just go back on Twitch and he'll beg heavy, and that's it. And people have to tip him. But, isn't going to help him because, he needs... he wouldn't have cheers and he wouldn't have subs to depend on. So it would strictly have to be tips. And that right there would be some of the saltiest of begs I think anybody would ever really see. Because he's literally in a situation where he can't get money anywhere. The only time that you could ever say he was even close is when DSP Gaming got demonetized back in the day over Spamgate. But he still had Twitch. He was still on Twitch. So he was okay with not getting any money off DSP Gaming. Oh, that's right, I'm wrong. He just ran over the KO Gaming and he messed around with that. Which, now that I think about it, I guess if he did lose the monetization off DSP Gaming, he would just run over the KO Gaming, or he'd run over to King of Hate Archives or whatever the hell it's called. If not, he's running Twitch. And now I think about it, he might as well just run back to Twitch. Run back to Twitch, get your tips there, and then just fucking unload your fucking payload, if you will, over there on King of Hate Vlogs. Or, sorry, on KO Gaming. So, even with a possible breaking of TOS, he still has options. You know what I'm saying? Unless they went ahead and just... unless they actually slapped his his Google AdSense. Then that becomes a whole different thing in itself, but I don't know if it would even escalate that far. It'd be interesting, but I don't even know if it'd escalate that far. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, usually I actually save that for my final thoughts. Usually, but let's do this like this. Let's try to play this out in a fashion that I feel comfortable with. Okay. So there's that. I mean, like I said, it'd be interesting to see either which way. I'm surprised that he edited it out. It wouldn't be his first time doing it, but I am kind of surprised that he did that. I don't really see a value in it, to be honest. If he was going to get hit, he would have been hit by now. It is what it is. But that doesn't mean that it's not worth calling out. It certainly doesn't mean it's not worth reporting him, to be honest. He needs to know, he needs to remember that your bullshit doesn't stand. Because if anybody else had done that, he'd have been quick to fucking have that in his pre-cope podcast talking about it. So what makes him any different? What makes him above criticism or being held responsible for anything? So, something to think about. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. Very much appreciate it. A short one. But I'll catch you guys for the next one. I am more than likely, if I haven't recorded it already, which I think I had to vault that one. I do want to go over some of the Street Fighter 6 footage that's out there. There's some pretty good "This Is How You Don't Plays" on it and whatnot. There's also a channel that has like all of his losses, I think from the last beta. I don't know if they have everything from his first one, but I know they have everything for the second. So may go over some of that too, at least later on down the line. You know, there's at least another good 5 months until the game is released and whatnot, and then we start headhunting, to be honest. And then I watch other people who are going to go after him, and you're going to see DSP's lack of Street Fighter really come into full play with Street Fighter 6, to be honest with you. Because I think it's time that we finally, well, maybe it's not time, but at least for me, it's time that really cut into that bullshit. And I want to show you guys, really, if not as if it hasn't been shown already, that his 20 plus years, whatever the fuck long it was a waste. And he doesn't have not a goddamn thing to show for it. You know what I mean? It's just, that's really the truth of it all. He sat there and devoted everything he had to Super Turbo because it was the only thing that he ever had to show. And he literally held himself back from any type of growth. Because he was hyper focused, if you will, on Super fucking Turbo. Doesn't have the mental dexterity nor versatility to learn and do something else. And in Street Fighter 6, if he's not playing the game offline on his own, or if he's not having multiple streams a week playing it, he's dead in the water anyway. And he knows it. And he knows it. But how many people are really going to come out and support that thing 3 or 4 days in a row? 2 days maybe. 3? And how long is it going to be until he runs into real killers? That's what it really comes down to. What happens when he runs into real killers? Or is he going to be a bitch and he going to turn crossplay off? What's he going to do? Because, yet again, the FGC is making large strides because of people like DSP's quote-unquote friend, Arturo, to really push it to PC. And that comes from Street Fighter V, which it's kind of funny that DSP never really spoke about it when Street Fighter V was going on. He just kept saying it was a terrible game and all these talentless hacks, and the FGC had no choice but to cling on to it because they had nothing else. But he never talked about how people playing on PCs is a big thing. Now that I think about it, I think it was announced that I think Capcom Cup is going to be strictly on PC, which is a great thing. Not all tournaments are going to be able to do that because that's expensive. It's going to be expensive to get all those different rigs and make sure that everything runs consistently and all of that. But in some years, it may turn into that. Hence the reason why people were telling DSP for all these years that he should get on Fightcade. But whatever, that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But something to look forward to. Hopefully I can get a few of those down, put that out there. It should be fun. I'm looking to having a conversation with Agent Proper as it pertains to some of DSP's FGC lore and whatnot. There's a lot out there. He took a shot at Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 recently, and or maybe just Marvel vs. Capcom 3, it doesn't matter. But he took a shot at it recently, and I like watching a lot of tournament footage, especially older tournament footage on my spare time. And I found when Kane Blue River, for those of you who know who he is, when he won in 2015, and hopefully I can show you that. He went up, I mean, top 3 was Kane Blue River, Ray, and I think Apology Man, I think that is what that kid's name is. Anyway, that was a great grand finals for Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Hopefully I get to show you guys some of that. There's a lot of technicality that goes into that Marvel game. It's not just X Factor and that's it. There's so much more that goes into it. You can bait X Factor out. There's certain types of damage scaling. It's situational, really, to be honest. Because truth be told, if you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck out of X Factor is either when you're down to your last character, if you have Dark Phoenix, or if or truth be told, if you're using it at stage 1 or at level 1, which is when you still have all 3 of your characters. If you can catch your opponent with 2 characters out there slipping, then X Factor kind of works out, so you can offset the damage scaling. But whatever. DSP doesn't look at games from a technical standpoint like that. He doesn't understand any of that. You know what I'm saying? He's your typical caveman. Oh, turn red, instant comeback mechanic. Which X Factor is not just a comeback mechanic. It's an offensive. It has offensive properties too. A lot of them, to be honest. And it really just comes down to a situation. You pop your X Factor early, you're more than likely done, and you're going to see that quote unquote burnout. Even though there is no burnout in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Once it's gone, it's gone. But you're going to see a lot of burnout from him in Street Fighter 6. That shit's going to be fantastic. So look forward to that. All right, ladies and gentlemen. And again, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. I'll catch you guys for the next one, whatever that may be. DSP News, Snort Report, SnortBucks Coffee Company, the best beverage company, Hard Snorts Gin and Tonic, that toxic flavor that never waver. And, yeah, your sweaty man JPEGs. Later, guys.